So a ton of you have been messaging me recently asking me if I checked out a mod called Mario Kart 64 Amped Up. Long-time viewers here will know from my episodes of the N64 beta project that I have an interest in all things beta, prototypes, mods and hacks, and so thank you for the heads up. Right away I want to let you know that you can play this game on both emulator and on original hardware, for example using an EverDrive. For this video I'm using original hardware throughout, and so if you do play it on an emulator it may look slightly different and have reductions in some of the minor issues that I will be pointing out. Whenever I hear about a game getting a mod, especially on the N64, I often go into it with bated breath because the console is notoriously difficult to code for, which is why it takes a set of special skills in order to be able to pull off something half decent. Sure, you see some special ones from the likes of Kirko Mods, who's a bit of a whiz when it comes to the N64 scene, but when I saw this was a mod for Mario Kart 64 my interest was piqued. But flashbacks to previous mods, which included things like adding Dragon Ball Z characters into the game, left me with an underwhelming sense of frustration. So it brings us to Mario Kart 64 Amped Up. Like the name suggests, this really is an amped up mod to the base game. Aside from a few telling signs, you could easily forget that this does work off Mario Kart 64 as a base due to the high level of alterations to the overall package. Off the bat I'm working with version 2.1 here. Version 3 is nearing release, and the reason I wanted to cover this game now rather than wait until version 3 was out is that I want as many people to get behind this awesome project as possible. Because by showing appreciation and support to projects like this, we end up building up the scene and get treated to more projects such as this. So what does version 2.1 have to offer? For a start, when you turn on the game you're greeted with some option screens that let you tweak the gameplay. For the first time playing this I would suggest that you keep things stock as standard, but as you explore this game and get accustomed to what's going on here, you can of course come back and tweak things. Mario Kart 64 Amped Up replaces at this version 12 of the 16 courses from the original game with entirely new offerings, some of which are entirely new creations and others take inspiration from classic Nintendo games from other series. The remaining 4 courses will be included in version 3 when that's released, which will make up every single track in the game being a brand new experience. The drivers from the original game are all here and they all handle as expected, and so if you have a personal favourite or if you have a super awesome with a particular character, then you will be able to jump right into this game, select that character and play as you would have done in Mario Kart 64. The Mushroom Cup this time includes a version of Ancient Lake from DKR, which is one of that game's most popular tracks to do time trials on, a version of Mario Circuit from the GameCube's Mario Kart Double Dash, a track called Tsunami Beach, and also a track called Calamari Canyon. Being the huge mark I am for Diddy Kong Racing, I naturally loved doing laps in this game on the Ancient Lake circuit. In the Mushroom Cup, the Calamari Canyon is also a highlight, which is an original track, which like the name suggests takes tons of inspiration from the Nintendo 64's Calamari Desert, and yet somehow manages to make it one of the coolest mod tracks I've ever seen. After playing those 4 tracks you jump into the Flower Cup, which this time includes an Egyptian themed track called Sandy Slide, a Super Mario World themed raceway track complete with SNES style graphics, Yoshi's Riverbed and Hazy Maze Cave. Yet again these tracks are very fun to race and my personal favourite from this cup is Hazy Maze Cave. Hazy Maze Cave is the standout track here for me and it's absolutely awesome as it's a longer course, has brilliant visual style and absolutely tons of nods to Super Mario 64's Hazy Maze level, complete with characters and complete with its own maze section to race through, where one wrong turn can lead you into a dead end. The Star Cup has a Kirby 64 styled Green Greens track, the Carnival Realm which is inspired by Glover, Secret Slide, which on paper sounds like it would be horrific to race on, but the work that went into this Super Mario 64 style track makes it one of the compilation's absolute highlights. And wrapping things up is a Mario Circuit 3 course, which is absolutely dreamy to power slide around all of the corners and really smash out some of those super lap times. Now heading back into the previously mentioned options menu, you have the ability to play in mirror mode and also to activate the coin challenge mode. Sadly, I think that the coin challenge mode needs a lot of work, but there are signs of brilliance here. By turning this mode on, the track will be adorned with purple coins, which both you and your opponents can pick up. Each time you pick up, your speed will increase slightly, and so they can give you the competitive edge. And if you pick up an 8th coin, you'll automatically get a power star activated. Clearly this idea was taken from DKR, but the problem I have with it in this game is that the positioning on some of the courses makes it not worthwhile seeking these coins out. Now don't get me wrong, on some tracks like Secret Slide I think they're placed absolutely perfectly, but in some other tracks they are in such obscure positions that if you aim to collect all of them you'll end up so far behind that you'll have no chance of winning. What DKR did so well was position its coins in such a way that they were collectible, sometimes with difficulty, but positioned in such a way that it was possible to get the lot and still complete the challenge in first place. Here that's not always the case, and so I hope for tweaks in some of the courses moving forward. The different speed settings in the game are also interesting. You have your standard 50, 100 and 150cc modes right from the start, but surprisingly the game seems to run better at faster speed settings. When I race some of the courses in the 50cc mode to get used to the layouts in the game, it seemed to suffer slowdown in certain spots. And yet when I played the same area in 150cc mode, things seem to be much better. It's not game breaking by any means, but it's just something to note. Also of note is the game's music, which is absolutely spot on here. I literally wouldn't swap out any of the themes that they have included. The courses which take inspiration from other games have brilliant renditions of those existing pieces of music, like Ancient Lake, and others like Green Greens uses a Kirby 64 style piece of music which is totally fitting. If you're an N64 aficionado, which let's be honest many of you here should and probably will be, then you'll love seeing nods to classic Nintendo 64 games and other Nintendo games as you play. The Carnival realm immediately lets you know it's Glover related, and the Secret Slide finish line sees you go through an invisible window, much in the same way as you'd enter the Secret Slide in Mario 64. A quality of life addition is the ability to play non-stop GP mode, which instead of stopping at the end of every cup, instead you're able to play all 12 races in a series, completes with points tallying up as you race to determine an overall 12 race winner. This season style Grand Prix style event is very much welcomed, and it takes away the pain of losing an entire cup if you're just pipped at the last moment by an opponent, and you'll then just move on to the next track. Likewise, there's the ability to force the next track if you fail to score points in a race, and so it gives it a more realistic feel rather than being offered the chance to replay a race if you happen to have a bad race. One thing to note though is that if you play the Grand Prix mode with all 12 tracks in a row, after each 4 tracks your main rivals will be switched, and so it does give you the upper hand at all times here. You know the insane rubber banding the original had when you'd race a cup, you'd always have 1 or 2 super pesky opponents. Within the Grand Prix mode here, it pretty much follows the style of the cups, and so they'll be randomly selected after every 4 races. The game doesn't tell you this, but when racing you'll definitely see different opponents testing you every 4 races. This game really packs a challenge. Maybe it's because I've been playing MK64 for so long, but playing a game which on the one hand feels so familiar and yet on the other feels completely new just leaves a strange sensation. It's like when you first played the game, or the first time you actually played any racing game really. You do get enjoyment from small things which gradually wear off over time. As much as I love the game and can't wait to see what next build brings to it, there are a couple of parts which I found frustrating. Sandy Slide has an external section around halfway through the race where the frame rate really drops significantly no matter what speed you're racing at. And parts of the Carnival realm could do with some colour changes to help make it clearer where the actual track is and which way to go. Because it's such a vibrant and colourful track, it can get a little bit confusing quickly, especially to new players. But seeing as there are such small issues that I have, and it's really being picky for the purposes of helping to give my views on how to make it even better, I think that this is an amazing piece of work. I haven't played this in multiplayer and so I can't comment on how it performs on real hardware when you start adding friends, but I do have a feeling that some of the slowdown issues I mentioned would be more compounded the more characters you add. Mario Kart 64 Overkart is a quickly growing scene of Mario Kart 64 mods, and they have launched a brand new website which I'll link to in the description box. They also have exclusive PC tools which can help you create your own courses for Mario Kart 64, which can then be moved over and implemented into the game. and they've even included tutorials on how to create courses for Mario Kart 64 using these tools over on the YouTube channel, so that will help you get to grips with them. So in summary, this is perhaps one of the best mods I've ever seen on the console, and it's by far one of my personal favourite for Mario Kart 64. I can't wait to get to grips with some of the more custom tracks being made, and if you can help this community of passionate Mario Kart 64 fans get huge, then please share this with everybody you know, because the more people that join and help out and start getting involved in this project, the merrier. And so for today's topic of conversation, I want to know what you think of what you've seen. Do you love mods like this which take a base game and bring a brand new experience? Or are you more of a purist that thinks the game should be left alone in their existing form to allow people to focus on creating brand new IPs and their own games? I'd absolutely love to hear your ideas for custom tracks for people to make in this game. And for me personally, I'd go for a Snowball Kids themed track over absolutely anything else. Come on guys, make this one happen. As always though, thank you for watching, and until next time.